From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Well, a battle of words between a Helena lobbyist and a Sydney, Montana preacher who hosts an online news site escalating to a knockdown court battle. What's being said and alleged coming up next.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. The world continues to wait for possible conflict in Ukraine. Why is Russia so interested in the Eastern European country, and how may a potential conflict impact you? Coming up.
Well, happy Friday, Southwest Montana, 6:31. Shell Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. Kind of a chilly January morning out there right now. Yesterday afternoon, beautiful.
Yeah.
A little chilly to start our Friday.
It definitely cold in many areas. In fact, the wind chill's been down near 20 below this morning in Butte. So just a very light wind, but enough. That 9 degrees below zero temperature is feeling very frigid. 15 degrees below zero in West Yellowstone. We're sitting at 3 in Belgrade. We've been holding in the teens here at the on the weather patio. It's actually a very pleasant morning. We may see a little patchy fog for a few areas this morning, but daytime temperatures back into the mid and even upper 30s in many cases in Southwest Montana. A nice warm weekend ahead for us, Chet. But big changes once again in store next week. We'll break it all down in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. 6:32 now. A conservative pastor from Sydney, Montana, who founded an online publication called the Montana Daily Gazette, being sued for libel by a Native American transgender lobbyist from Billings. The pastor also has been publicly attacking the lobbyist lawyers and now the Great Falls judge on the case. But yesterday, the lobbyist asked the judge to level sanctions against the pastor. TN's Mike Dennison picks up the story.
Pastor Jordan J.D. Hall claims that the Montana Daily Gazette is the most widely read online publication in the state. And last spring, he posted an article calling transgender lobbyist Adrian Jawort an angry transvestite who had threatened the state senator at the Capitol during the Montana legislature. Jawort is now suing Hall for libel, saying the described event never happened, and a public war of words both in and outside the courtroom has ensued. But that verbal war has escalated to the point where Jawort's lawyers on Thursday asked presiding judge Elizabeth Best of Great Falls to sanction Hall. They said he's threatening Jawort and her attorneys with physical harm and publicly bashing the judge in an attempt to influence the case. They say Hall has said or posted many comments suggesting violence against Jawort and her attorneys, and then excusing it by saying he's speaking only metaphorically. In recent weeks, Hall has criticized Best as the most liberal judge in the state and said he will refuse to wear a face mask in her courtroom if she orders him to, and will refuse to use a feminine pronoun for Jawort. Hall also held an event at Great Falls on Tuesday night advertised as Judicial Reform, Judge Best, and Removing Bad Judges from the state of Montana. Earlier this week, Best, the fourth judge on the case, issued a ruling against Hall, saying Jawort need prove only simple negligence on Hall's part for the libel, rather than the more difficult standard of actual malice. Hall's attorney, Matthew Monforton of Bozeman, told MTN News nothing his client has said qualifies as a true threat under the First Amendment. The request for sanctions also noted that Hall has said Monforton warned him to tone down his rhetoric, but that he has no plans to do so. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
31-year-old Alexander Ziegler appeared quiet as he heard charges against him.
So 45-9112, criminal possession.
Ziegler is accused of offering a 14-year-old girl drugs and encouraging her to engage in sexual acts. According to the arrest affidavit, police found Instagram messages between Ziegler and the 14-year-old victim who was attempting to buy acid. Ziegler was arrested by Bozeman police on January 24th. Officers found a bag with a powdery white substance on him. In justice court, he was charged with criminal possession of dangerous drugs, criminal distribution of dangerous drugs, and sexual abuse of children, all felonies. This isn't the first time Ziegler has been charged with similar charges. In 2014, in Yellowstone County, he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of criminal distribution of dangerous drugs. According to the arrest affidavit, Ziegler did admit to messaging the girl on Snapchat or on Instagram where the sexual conversations took place. According to Bozeman police, who work in the Internet Against Crimes Children Division, cybercrimes in Montana have gone up dramatically.
Are aware that with some of the COVID shutdowns, kids are primarily online. And unfortunately, with them being online and having access to computers and parents having to still work, it sometimes creates kind of that perfect storm of kids being online without parental supervision, predators being online and knowing that.
Detective Hansen says that parents should have open communication with their children so that they can feel comfortable talking with parents.
If kids are on those platforms and some sort of inappropriate content comes up, someone approaches them that they don't know and asks for, inappropriate messages, inappropriate content, photos, it's important that parents have that open line of communication with their children so their children feel comfortable coming to them and telling them that that's happening.
In Bozeman, Edgar Cedillo, MTN News.
On the international scene this morning, tensions remain high worldwide with Russia and their troop buildup on the border with Ukraine. All week long, you've been hearing about the possibility of an invasion, but you may still be wondering why Russia is so interested in that country. Our Joe St. George has a closer look at that, as well as how a conflict could impact your life.
Ukraine. If you look at a globe, you may have trouble finding it, but the country located in Eastern Europe is where 44 million people live. Right now, U.S. officials say more than 100,000 Russian troops are on the border. The capital of Ukraine and the capital of Russia are separated by an 11-hour drive or so.
Tensions between Ukraine and Russia have been high for years, with Russia invading back in 2014. So why is Moscow so interested in the Eastern European country?
We're just seeing the Russians, and Putin in this case, trying to restore somewhat greater Russia.
Jim Townsend is the United States' former Deputy Secretary of Defense for Europe and NATO. He says you can't understand this crisis without first understanding history. During the Cold War, Russia was part of the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union consisted of much of Eastern Europe, including Ukraine. Townsend says its collapse in the 1990s has always upset Russian President Vladimir Putin.
And Putin, of course, was a creature of the Cold War. Putin laid this out in a speech this past summer, saying that there's really not a country of Ukraine. Ukraine is Russia.
Many Ukrainians, of course, disagree, which is why leaders there have increased their reliance on the United States and our military. U.S. equipment has been used for years. The Florida National Guard is even training Ukrainian troops right now. That upsets Moscow.
He doesn't want to see those forces too close to him. He likens this to the Cuban Missile Crisis. He says, how would you feel, United States, if we went back to Cuba?
A conflict, if it happens, could impact your life. U.S. troops could deploy and gas prices could go up since Russia produces so much of the world's energy. If you're wondering why now, Townsend says Russia may think conditions are right for them to get away with it. Germany's longtime leader Angela Merkel has just left office, and President Biden is struggling to convince the world he can heal America's divisions. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Back here at home now, through the pandemic, we've heard a lot about the stresses and staff shortages at hospitals during the pandemic. But what's really on the mind of those healthcare workers? SCL Health Montana set out to discover just that in a documentary called Caring Through COVID. You'll have a chance to watch it this weekend. MTN's Victoria Hill sat down with the president of St. Vincent Healthcare in Billings and SCL Health's Montana region to find out what sparked the idea.
COVID-19 has been in the news for 2 years, but now SCL Health Montana is offering up a different perspective through documentary Caring Through COVID.
What a gift they were to be able to care for the people even when they weren't even sure what was going on.
Sometimes the work is hard and the lift is heavy, and yet this documentary for me brought to mind not only the hard work, but also the hearts of our care team members, and where they are so willing to put their heart into their work and into those connections with the patients and the loved ones, family members coming alongside the patients and their colleagues on a day in and day out basis.
Told through the voices of 9 staff members at St. Vincent Healthcare in Billings, Holy Rosary Healthcare in Miles City, and St. James Healthcare in Butte, audiences will be reminded it's more than just a job.
It's pretty common for nurses to text each other after work if they notice each other they've had a bad shift, and just to say, are you okay?
That to me just brought forward that really good reminder of how special it is to work on a team that takes care of not only the patients but one another as colleagues and extended family members.
This wasn't just a way for the public to get a first-hand perspective, but a way to show appreciation.
It was just such a wonderful way for us to collectively say once again, thank you to our team members. Thank you for the work that is done, for the care that is provided, for the response that is so diligently given out on a day in and day out basis.
With so many unknowns, Alderfer hopes this offers promise.
Something that really ties back to the legacy of SCL Health, and that's one of our founding sisters, Mother Xavier Ross. And she has been known to say, look forward to the good that is yet to be.
We are going to get through this. It's hard to see that right now when you're right in the middle of it, but there are going to be better days ahead.
In Billings, Victoria Hill, MTN News.
Again, that documentary, Caring Through COVID, can be seen this Saturday evening, 6:30, right here on KBZK KXLF. Little update for you here. Beautiful sunset atop Pete's Hill as the Gallatin Valley Land Trust and the city of Bozeman made the purchase of the last 12 acres of Pete's Hill official yesterday evening. Record 700 donors were able to help make that purchase happen by raising the money needed to kick in toward the purchase price of about $1.25 million. GVLT tells MTN News that Pete's Hill is such a community asset. It's people running, walking their dogs on a daily basis. Executive Director says this was a collaborative effort between the city and GVLT and gave the Land Trust a fundraising goal of $800,000. GVLT says this purchase will keep Pete's Hill safe from development.
How are you doing? Yeah. I'm great. Nice. Okay. Nice.
Now, Mayor Cindy Andrus cut the ribbon yesterday afternoon at the popular place just blocks from Main Street. GVLT says it's continuing to work to protect the land here in the valley.